What's up, y'all? This is your girl Sugary Girl Candy 2012, and I'm here to bring you guys another video. If you read the title, you already pretty much know what this is going to be about. So I got some of these suggestions are suggestions that just like popped in my head, or just what I got off of playing WWE 2K14, and half of it also is from a few friends whose comments or PMs or whatever I took note of what they wish was back in the game, and I've written it down so I can make a complete wish list, and maybe I can tweet this to 2K, so maybe we'll get at least some of these things, and so we can have a a good game. That's all we all hoping for, is to have a proper wrestling game like we had back in the early 2000s, man. I mean, so anyway, let's get started with this list. Number 1, bring back customizable Trons. Now, as you guys know, I've mentioned this like many of times, how well, not many times. Well, maybe I have, because some on my main channel and on this channel. I mentioned that they should bring back customizable Trons, because customizable Trons also made my creations feel like they were a part of the game more than me just making them. And with customizable Trons gone, and them expecting for us to use the wrestlers Trons, makes it like a little bit unrealistic to me. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't use them, because if they work for you, then they work for you. They just don't work for me, and I would like to be able to have the ability to make my own Trons again, and also more of a variety. I'm sure they can do a lot more now that they're moving to this gen of consoles, so it shouldn't be no excuse why they should be taking things out and putting it in when we move over to the next new gen, which is this gen of systems. Also, we should get customizable mini Trons. And what I mean by that, because I'm subscribed to a person you guys already probably know, who uploads a lot of wrestler videos, from CC and blah blah blah, and he made a video of having the ability to customize our mini Trons. And there's only like a few select mini Trons that that I like to use personally, because they don't have names on them, like the Undertaker, Layla, and Kane. So what would be cool about those is the fact that if we can change the color, and not just that, but maybe add like a name. Like, it don't have to be like adding, like, it doesn't even have to be to the point where we type out our name, but just the names in the where you choose to give your calls, when they're announced, when they come out, like names like that, what I'm saying? So to make it a little bit more realistic again, and to make our creations feel like they're a part of the game and not just in it. So okay, that's Trons. Number 2, better and more story creator scenes. And this is what I mean by this, because for my story on my main channel, Brown Sugar Candy 2007, I have to do a lot of improvising for certain scenes that I want to do. And we know in real wrestling, when they have stories, the characters would be everywhere, would be in houses, they would be in hell, motels, they would be outside. Like, you remember the whole Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin fighting outside, and I don't remember if it was Austin or the Rock that got knocked over the bridge or something and then fell in the water. But better story creator scenes, like stuff we can actually be able to work with, instead of. Also, before I elaborate more on that, how about more scenes with divas, because there's just not enough good scenes with the divas in it, and it just looked too funny having a diva. You have to kind of improvise and have, like, on certain scenes where you got to have the diva take the place of the male and blah blah blah. Like, it's just crazy. Like the romantic scenes, if you guys know what I'm talking about, like the kissing, how about a little bit more contact, because when they kiss, it kind of looks awkward, like, oh, like it's like one of those awkward kisses, like, okay, you kiss me because so it would be better if we had more of a, like, where they're actually together, what I'm saying? Maybe like, a hand on the face and the other hand on the waist or something like that. just to make it feel like, you know, they actually mean it and not like it's forced and what the hell are you doing kissing me. But anyway, let me let me not like go off on that. But anyway, better and more story creative scenes, like hospital scenes or like a bed or something. Like even just a bed would work, because then you can do whatever you want with the bed. Like you can make it be, you know, at a hospital. You can make it be at home or whatever, and it'd be cool, you know, just to have them sleeping and all that stuff. I mean, because when I have to improvise, I mean, I have to do more editing. So so yeah, we need more and better story creative scenes. All the things that they did in the past, like you know, somehow put into this game, and story creator, you know, getting hospital scenes, better kissing scenes, better romantic scenes, better outside scenes. I mean, because we need more than just a parking lot to be our outside. We need to like actually be outside and because then you gotta kind of green screen that shit in, and it just doesn't work. Excuse my language. I'm gonna try not to curse y'all, because I'm trying to you know, I want 2K to see this. So you know, just better scenes, dude. Let's see. Number 3, better and more feminine hairstyles. Okay, now we all, and I'm sure we all are all tired of working with the same hairstyles, because we've been working with these hairstyles, most of these hairstyles, since forever. So it's time for an update, man. It's not the early 2000s anymore, and these hairstyles are looking really 90s right now. We need proper hairstyles, female mohawks, better male mohawks, curls, proper cornrows, proper ponytails that don't look like they're forced but more natural, better flowing hair, you know, hair that doesn't like clip too much into the body, because this is why I don't like to give too many of my creations long hair, because it clips so much through the body that it just end up looking ridiculous in the end. Also with the cornrows, we should have the ability to make them longer, because this, you know, I be wanting to give some of my characters cornrows, but at the same time I can't make them that long. And I'm not talking about the ones with the beads in it. I'm talking about just regular old cornrows, the ones they already have. And we should have the ability to make them longer like we can with all the other hairstyles. Okay, where am I? 1, 2, 3. Okay, number 5, more and old school entrants, mainly from divas. Okay, so as you guys know, we got a whole lot of superstar entrances, and yeah, sometimes it takes me literally an hour to get my my creative superstars entrances, because there's so many entrances to choose from, and most of the time some of them fit my creations, and then I'm sitting there for like literally 15 minutes trying to figure out which one I want to give them and which one works for them and blah blah blah, because they just look good with most of them. But the old school entrances that I personally want to see are from divas, because we all know back then in 2006, 2007 and blah blah blah, divas had some bomb entrances. They had good entrances that would be awesome to be, you know, used in the newer games. And it kind of upsets me that this year more diva entrances were taken out of the game, and now we're stuck with even less. So it when you have those people that be like, you know, this is going to be the most overused entrance of every diva creation on YouTube and blah blah blah, and I'm like, well, you can't expect people. I'm like, well, you can't, like, you know, it's not like we have much of a choice when it comes to diva entrances, so you're going to see a lot of people using the same entrances, because it's just literally not much to work with, so we do what we can. And some of us don't like not all of us like to give our diva creations superstar entrances, unless the diva is like really, you know, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, more old school entrances from divas would be awesome. We really need it. Mainly like the ones from 2006, 2007 and on up would be awesome. And so we won't have to just keep on working with what we got. And Also, more, if they can, old school divas. I mean, because literally with every game, the only old school divas you really see in there are Trish and Lita, and we all know Trish and Lita weren't the only old school divas that were wrestling back then. There were a lot: Sable, Jacqueline, Chyna, and more. So, you know, it would be cool to see some of those creations in there. I mean, creations, some of those divas in there, and along with those entrances. Cause I mean, it can't be attitude era. It can't be the attitude era if you don't have all of the attitude characters. You know what I'm saying? Cause even divas back then made a pretty good impact back then, and they actually had stories centered around them, and not just like 20-minute segments, and then it's back to superstars again. So, you know, back then they actually mattered a lot more than they do today, which is sad to be honest. But anyway, moving on. Number 6. Where am I? Okay, let me cut it and take a break. Okay, so continuing at the mild interruptions. So I really left off on number 5. Wait a minute. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. I kind of got this all over the place, so forgive me. 1, 2, 3. Okay, yeah, I'm at number 5 of my wish list. Okay, so number 5 on my wish list is the Creation Suite needing a whole overhaul. Hopefully with the next Monday, they may show something that may get us excited, and you know, something to be, you know, saying I want to go out and I want to spend the money on. Creation Suite is something that dearly needs like just an overhaul. This will also go in the hairstyle and, you know, better hairstyle and category as well, because everything in Creation Suite needs to be overhauled. We need new face templates, you know, better hairdos, better body types, mainly for divas, because divas only have from a few select that you can choose from. And as you know, in previous games we were able to give our divas 6-packs, and you know, where compared to in this game you have to actually improvise again, which is something I don't like really doing. You have to improvise, you know, with the body hair, and because if you don't know, the body hair can give your diva a 6-pack, and you have to improvise with that. So, you know, having more selective body choices for our divas like we had in previous games would be nice, and it will let us know that, you know, that you guys still care about the divas, because as you know, more people it seems like on YouTube, if you pay attention to the whole fan base, use more divas than they do superstars, and they do more things with divas than they do superstars. So, you know, better diva body types, and more updated clothing, because the clothing in the game we've been working with since what? We've been working with since the early 2000s, which is now getting ridiculous, because the more and more you look at these, like the clothing pieces, the more and more they start to look 90s. The shirts, the jeans, I'm like literally tired of working with the same clothing pieces, man. We need an overhaul. We need new clothing. We need clothing of 2013, 2014, if not 2014, at least 2011, 2012, 2013 clothing from, you know, so we can have something to work with. And, you know, because some of the clothing items look pretty ridiculous. Not just like take clothing pieces and added it into the game. No, we need an overhaul of every clothing piece in the freaking game, because again, if you look around YouTube, people are having to do so many things just to improvise for what they really want, like in tops and like in pants and stuff like that. And who wants to keep doing that, to be honest? It takes more time to work on the creation when you have to do stuff like that. So it needs a major overhaul. What else? Again, with the hairstyles, you know, we need different types. We need something scenish, something punkish, spikes, mohawks, you know, mohawks up to date for females and male, more stylish, and you know, that are good, you know, something that you actually see a person walking around with. So I believe that was number 5. Okay, let me see. Okay, here we go. Okay, number 6. Bring back the ability for your car to be in more than one stable, aka multiple stables. I also want to add that a lot of the tag entrances that they took out are tag entrances that I actually enjoyed, and I really wish they would bring those back. Again, putting the games on newer systems, it now really wouldn't be that much of an excuse to take it out when you're gonna have a lot more space to work with the newer consoles. So, you know, bringing back a lot of things that they took out shouldn't be too hard for them. Oh yeah, bringing back the ability for your car to be in more than one stable. And what I mean by this, as you know, in previous games, again, you were able to have your car in a tag team entrance and at the same time in a group entrance. And it would be nice if they, bring this ability back, because sometimes I don't just want to put my car in a tag team, because if I'm like making a group, a group of calls like I do on my main channel, like the PMDs and a couple in that group is like, has a couple, like has a brother or a sister or a girlfriend, I would like to indicate that they have a sister, brother, and girlfriend by the entrance. So we should be able to put them in mixed tag team entrance, and in being able to come out in a group entrance as well. And that would be really, really helpful for a lot of what I do on my main channel. So that would be nice. Let me see what else I got for this. Okay, that's pretty much it for number 6. So let's move on to number 7. Oh crap. Okay, wait a minute. Give me. Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Number 7. Creating of arenas. Now you're probably gonna be like, why is she talking about creating arenas? Well, what I mean by creating arenas, there's just certain parts when creating the arena. Sometimes like arena that can be made in like 20 minutes or so takes like 20 minutes more, due to the fact that a lot of things move slowly, like in making it. Also, what we had in 2013, where we were able to stretch the whole 128 logo over the ring. Now if you were to try to do that with the 128, it would look pretty ridiculous, because it'd be really tiny. So you have to use a 256, which you can't, because you don't have many 256 logos to work with. So you have to use those, and you only get to use 2. And you have to, even stretching the 256 logo out on an arena doesn't look, isn't that big anymore as it was in 2013, where you can stretch it and it can fill out. Also, with the whole 256 logo thing, let me also add this. Wait a minute. For car creation mode, they should rid of the limit, like, because there are like certain things I want to give my cars and my creations, but I can't, because if I throw a whole suit on them, or if I throw a coat on them, it's going to take up all my points, and then I can't add anything else that I want to my creation, which really sucks, because then I can't get my whole, the whole vision of what I want to create on that, on that character that I'm making. So it would be really cool if they would just do away with the whole limit thing. I mean, I honestly don't see why that even exists, to be honest. Like, what's the point of putting a limit on creation? You know what I'm saying? It's creation. We should be able to have unlimited abilities to put whatever we want on our creations without, that little message popping up saying, you've hit your limit, you can't add anything else. I'd be like, oh my gosh, man, I just needed like a few more pieces to complete this look. And I can't do it because, you know, the whole limiting, excuse me. Along with the back to the creator arena, for 256 logos, like we should be able to do with, you know, 128 logos, what we do with 128 logos, where we can use, I believe, 8 different logos, and we can repeatedly use those over and over, we should be able to do with the 256s as well. Because sometimes I want to use 256 logos because they work for certain things. So like creating arenas, for instance, like I want to be able to use multiple, at least if not for like cause, at least for like creating arenas, we should be able to use multiple 256 by 256 logos. And you know, so because again, it's bigger and it stretches more, and so, you know, it fills out, and we should have the ability to be able to use more than two, excuse me, 256 by 256 logos. We should be able to have the amount that we can use for 128 as well, because 128 is really only good for when you're making calls, because there are certain pieces that that you need to complete, like a tire or something, and you're gonna need all those 128. So being able to have, you know, the amount of logos to use that we use on 128 for 256 would be very, very awesome, and very, very, very helpful when creating arenas and stuff like that. So let me see, moving on to number 8. Okay, this is something that I've seen mentioned on a lot of videos that I've recently been on, you know, of people I'm subscribed to who upload WWE stuff, and, you know, wish lists and stuff like that, blah blah blah. Proper backstage battles. Now, this is something that many have been asking for. As you know, if you don't know, if you had just got started in this series, if you don't know, in previous WWE SVR games, yeah, it was called that before it was actually called WWE 13, 14, blah blah blah. In previous games, we were able to have, like, we had many options of backstage battles. Even in, I believe, I don't know if it was 2006 or 2007 or 2005, where we had the ability to actually fight, like, literally outside in the snow, throwing snowballs at each other. I was like, wow, like, you know, back then, me and my siblings, we had fun with that. So, you know, having proper, like, backstage fights like you've seen in, like, all of Attitude Era and stuff like that would be awesome, you know, not just fighting in the parking lot and fighting in, you know, before you go to, you know, out to the arena and stuff like that. You know, being able to actually fight outside, you know, maybe in a restaurant, maybe in a bar, and basically what we had in previous games, being able to fight in those areas would be awesome, because it would make the game, it would actually make you want to play the game and not just be like, you know, I'm already bored with it, you know, there's not many options to work with. Would be awesome. So can we have some proper backstage battles, please, please, please? Let me see. Okay, number 9. Well, not many people really asked for this, but this is personally, you know, I've seen a few comments of it, but personally, I think this would just be a little, you know, cool little add-on. Like I say, for a lot of games that I play, mainly like fighting games or open world games, it's the small things that matter that will make the game wonderful. Like, for me, it can be, like for me, when I was playing Saints Row 2, you can take notice of, like, how the characters would, if you leave the characters idle, they would start talking, or, you know, they would start smoking a cigarette or dancing or something like that. So it's the little things that matter. So having like new new celebration animations would be awesome. Though again, small, it would be awesome to have something new because we've been working with the same thing for about 10 years now. So, you know, it's really, really time for this series to be an upgrade because I really want to see this game do well, but I can't see it really doing well if you don't listen to the fans and you don't listen to the feedback, you know, that many of us are giving. I'm not saying you have to take all feedbacks because some, you know, people come out with the most ridiculous things, but, you know, just to the ones that actually make sense and, you know, something that can actually save the series and, you know, it can do proper on its sales and stuff like that, because I want to see this game do well, but, you know, I can't see myself, like, you know, picking it up or anything if it's just gonna be what I played last year. You know, I want something new and fresh, man. Fresh everything. Well, obviously fresh everything isn't gonna happen, but, you know, just basically what I mentioned so far would be awesome because we really, 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 really need this. Really, really need this. Okay, so I believe this is my last one. Yes, this is my last one, number 10. Okay, now this is a suggestion that, not a suggestion, but more of something that was PM'd to me by one of my friends, and she basically said, you know, having a story mode with divas, you know, to be able to use divas in story mode would be awesome. And I said, yeah, you know what, that is a good idea because, you know, again, like I said, you know, in the past, divas actually, you know, matter more than they do as of today. I hate to say it like that, but divas back then actually mattered a whole lot more, considering they all had their own storylines, and you know, they had more than 20 to 30 minute segments, and this back to superstars and not caring about divas anymore. And, you know, they actually matter, and they actually had actual big beefs and beefs that were interesting. So being able to have a story mode for characters would be, I mean, for divas would be awesome. Also, like they did in 2011 in previous games, we actually had the ability to choose our characters' voices. I mean, I don't know what happened to that. I'm sorry. And, you know, a proper road to WrestleMania for our characters as well would be awesome. Because honestly, you know, the whole playing the Attitude Era and all these other eras, you know, I'm thankful for it. But at the same time, I don't want to see it in my game because I seen it on TV 10 years ago. 10, 15 years ago, and I really don't want to see something or play something that I already seen on TV 10 years ago, and, you know, it would just be pretty fruitless. So for me, I just pretty much skip over that whole aspect because, again, I seen this on TV years ago, so why would I want to play it? So we need like proper road to WrestleMania stories, you know, where we can actually use our creations like we could in past games. We really need those back because literally when I pop in a new game, I don't do anything but go straight to Creation Suite compared to creating a character and then going to the story mode and the road to WrestleMania. And now I just completely skip over that, or I just buy the freaking DLC that unlocks everything so I don't have to play through it and play through the agony of it and stuff like that. So I just really need something enticing that will make me want to go back. I mean, make me want to go and play, you know, the road to WrestleMania, because I don't want to play what I've seen on TV 10 years ago. And not to mention the WWE Network is there, and not to mention you got YouTube too showing us. So I mean, yeah. So basically this is my wish list of what I hope will be in, well, which I know half of it or 90% of it is not going to be in the game, but I'm really dearly hoping that we get something big changed on this series. And we're going to find out on June 10th, which is where E3 starts. I'm not really sure where I can tell you to catch like most of E3, because if you guys didn't know, G4 TV used to host it in but now obviously they're not going to host it because it's not a game channel anymore. They took off everything gaming related off that channel. So now basically E3 is all over the place. Sony is throwing E3s in movie theaters, and Microsoft is showing it on Spike TV, and I don't know about Nintendo or anybody else, but I don't know exactly where to catch it. But I know just last year that I watched everything on YouTube, so I'm to assume you can catch it on YouTube. And if you're subbed to any gaming news channels, I suggest stay tuned to them because they'll be showing all of that and whatnot. June 9th is when Sony will start their conference, and then it continues for that week, I guess. So yeah, be sure to catch that, you know, E3, and I'm praying and hoping that it's really some big changes to the series. We really need it, because I really want to start fresh. I really want to be excited and not be like, oh, this is just what I played last year. And I really want this to happen, because the game isn't in DQ's paws anymore. It's in 2K's paws, and you know, with everything that I've read thus far, it sounds exciting, but you know, it's better to see it than to actually just, you know, read about it. So yeah, basically that's pretty much it. If you guys have anything like you want to leave under, you know, the comment section of what you want to be in the game, or you hoping that's in the game, then you can be sure to leave it down below, and I'll be sure to get back to your comments as fast as I freaking can. Deuces.